Enumeration. Today's topic is enumeration. Now first, what is enumeration? Now in this enumeration phase, attacker creates active connection to the systems and performs direct queries to gain more information about the target. Remember, we are still in the phase of gathering the informations. We are still gathering the information so that we can design our attack. So as possible as we try to get more information from different steps or different ways. So this is one of the phase where we get the information also, and we try to get it by actively creating the connection to the systems to gain more information about the target. So information enumerated by the intruders is network resources and shares. Right, what are the network resources we have, what are the shares they have. Try to find out the users and group information, trying to find out the routing tables, audit and service settings, machine names, application and banners, and also SNMP and DNS detail. So attackers used extracted information to identify system attack points and perform password attacks to gain unauthorized access to information system resources. Enumeration techniques are conducted in an intranet environment. Now, intranet environment, that means into the internal network. Internet is the external network and intranet is the internal network. Now, techniques of enumeration. We have different techniques of enumeration to extract usernames and using email IDs. We can extract the usernames using the email IDs. Email IDs, that means when you see the email ID clearly. When you see the email ID, so email IDs are combination of the username at the rate domain name. So if you remove the username, domain name from it, then it can give you the username. Then we can extract usernames using the SNMP. SNMP is the network management protocol. It can reveal lots of information. Then we can use to extract the users groups from Windows, information using the DNS zone transfer. Then we can brute force Active Directory also. Then extract information using the default password. We can use default passwords also to check the information. Now, services and ports to enumerate. These are the services and ports which we should enumerate to get information. Like DNS. DNS works on TCP, port number 53. DNS works on port number UDP port number 53 for queries. But for the zone transfers, it actually uses TCP 53 port number. It uses for the zone transfer. Then we can use UDP 161. This is the port where SNMP works. Then TCP 131. This is Microsoft RPC, request for command endpoint, request for connect endpoint mapper. Then we have TCP and UDP 389. This is lightweight directory access protocol. This is the port for this protocol, LDAP protocol, and the Windows Active Directory basically designed on this LDAP protocol. Then we have TCP and UDP 3368. This is global catalog service available in the domain. Then we have TCP 25 for the mail service. This is SMTP protocol service. This is then 137 is the NetBIOS name service. Then we have TCP 139, that is NetBIOS session service. That means SMB over NetBIOS. Then we have 445, that is SMB over TCP. SMB is the server message block which is used to share the directories from one machine to other machine. This is the protocol used to share the folder in Windows environment. So it uses NetBIOS for the name resolution. For the name resolution, it uses the NetBIOS protocol, and also it uses the session service for the NetBIOS for the SMB. And also SMB uses TCP, that is direct host. So we should get these services and ports to enumerate to get the information about target users and other informations. Now first, NetBIOS enumeration. NetBIOS name is a unique 16 ASCII character string used to identify the network device over TCP/IP protocol suite. 15 characters are used for the device name and 16th character is reserved for the service or name record type. First, this NetBIOS is actually name resolution protocol. It is used to resolve the name in the LAN environment. It is Microsoft proprietary, so it uses what? Name against the IP address resolution. Now it do what? It do it by the broadcast. That means if you want to connect some machine, so you can give the name directly. Now when you give the name, you give the NetBIOS name to that machine you want to connect. So your machine will do what? Your machine don't know the name, it needs IP address to connect. So what your machine do? It actually sends the broadcast request for NetBIOS. It sends the broadcast request for the NetBIOS name which we want to connect, and the request goes to all the machines within the network. And then nobody will get reply, only the machine will reply which has the same NetBIOS name which is we asking for. So it will send the reply with its own IP address, and then our machine connects to that machine. So instead, if you are not having DNS, still you can connect using the name by this NetBIOS name. Now these NetBIOS names are the 16 characters. Maximum it can up to 16 ASCII character name. Within 16, the 15 characters are used to the device name, and 16th one is reserved for the service name or service or name record type. What type of record name record it is. So this one is not an hierarchical name, so it accepts a single 15 character name in a single space, no hierarchical like DNS, and that is why it does not works on internet. It works on only local area network. So attacker uses the NetBIOS enumeration to obtain list of computers that belong to a domain, list of shares on the individual host on the network, policies and passwords also in some extent. Now how they will get the list of computers belong to the domain? So attacker can send the fake broadcast request for the fake name. Now when it request goes to every machine, those machine will not they will not send that this is the all machines will not say like, no, this is not my IP, this is not my name, this is not my name. So for example, when they send the error that this is not my name, so by the error this attacker machine can guess that these machines information, these machines are there. So when they send the error, actually they are sending their information. Then even we can get the info, the attacker can get the list of share folders available in the network also, because NetBIOS SMB also use sessions over NetBIOS. So with the help of NetBIOS name we can get the share name also. Then in some extent we can get the policies and passwords also. Now these are the names and NetBIOS codes and type, and you can see the information obtained. Like for example, 15 is the characters for the device name, the 16th one is for the service or name record type. So you can guess what is the record type by this code. 00 means it is your host name. 00 is also for the domain name. Then 03 is for the messenger service running for that computer. 03 is also messenger service running for that individual logged in user. It shows the username and it shows the host name for that service. Then domain name, it will show Y1D, that means master browser name for the subnet. Master browser, that means the server which is your domain server. Then 1D is the code for domain master browser name, identifies the PDC for that domain. PDC is the primary domain controller. So it also identifies the primary domain controller with 1B. Now NetBIOS name resolution is not supported by Microsoft for Internet Protocol version 6. So for IPv6, if you are using IPv6, it does not support NetBIOS. It is only for IPv4. Now there is a command NBT state. This displays NetBIOS over TCP. And NetBT protocol statistics. NetBIOS name tables for both the local computer and remote computers, and the NetBIOS name cache also. So if you use this NBT state command with -a option and the remote machine's name, remote machine's NetBIOS name or remote machine name, so it will get the NetBIOS name table of a remote computer. NetBIOS name of the remote computer's NetBIOS name table. That means whatever the NetBIOS name it has resolved. So by this we can guess, like we can see what are the machines within the network we have, or even within the domain. So for example, if I run this command against the domain controller, so domain controller, if it has resolved the name available, all the machines available within the domain. So if it has resolved those names, then it will show up here in this command. And even we can check the cache for the local machine. If our machine also resolved multiple names, so we can run the NBT state command with C option to display the content of the NetBIOS name cache, the table of NetBIOS names and their resolved IP addresses. So basically when it resolves the name, it do what? It caches the names also. So we can check by this NBT option -C command. Now this is our domain controller here. This machine's name is server 1 and the domain name is tech.com. Now I will try to enumerate this from the other machine, from the client machine, by using the NBT state command. Now on this client machine I will open CMD and I will run it as a administrator. Now I can run NBT state command -a. Then I can mention the server name, NetBIOS name, or I can give the IP address also. And now it is showing that this is having the Ethernet 0 and node IP address is this. The scope is not showing scope ID, and here it is showing NetBIOS remote machine name table. This is tech. Now tech, with this code, it mentioned that this is the type group. It is registered. Server 1 is the name of that server. It is 0. Type code 0. Then tech is also the domain name. Then the server is also the domain controller, and this is what? Domain name 1B. It is also PDC, like primary domain controller. So this domain is the primary domain controller also, and also it is showing the MAC address of that machine. If we want to see the local machine cache, then we can see by using the C option, and it is showing that currently we have resolved this server name by using the NetBIOS. So when I give this command using the NetBIOS name, it actually resolved the name by using the NetBIOS, and it is showing the current cache also. So in the cache you can see all the machines are there which is in the network name and IP, and you can see the other machines cache also, other machines table also. So if this server has also resolved other machines in that server, then you can see in the table, you can see all the names on that table, in that table. Then we can use this NetBIOS enumeration tool. This is a graphical tool. It is called SuperScan. This SuperScan is a connect-based TCP port scanner, pinger, and host name resolver. And it can give you. The features of this is its support for unlimited IP range, host destination, host detection by multiple ISMP methods, TCP sync and UDP scanning. It can do simple HTML report generation, source port scanning, fast host name resolving, extensive banner grabbing, and extensive Windows host enumeration. So it can do all these things by using this. We can do this by using this SuperScan, this graphical tool. Then we have another tool which is Hyena to do the NetBIOS enumeration. This Hyena is a GUI graphical product for managing and securing Microsoft operating system. It shows shares and user logons for Windows servers and domain controllers. It displays graphical representations of Microsoft terminal services, Microsoft Windows network, and web client networks also. Then we have other tool which is called NetBIOS Enumerator. It also do enumerate all the other machines and other information from the NetBIOS protocol. Now in NetBIOS protocols, now Windows has patched one thing. It is called null session. It was available in the previous versions of Windows. Now when the null session was available, Windows with the NetBIOS protocol, attackers gain lots of informations. They can get lots of information with this NetBIOS by creating the null session. But actually nowadays null session is not available. So null session is actually, Windows has patched the null session. So we can create the null session. It will show the successfully. It shows the null session created successfully, but it won't work. It won't reveal the information. Let's see, we can do the SuperScan tool. It shows the null session also. Now this is what the SuperScan, where you can give a single host IP to enumerate the single host, or we can enumerate the whole range of IP addresses. Like for example, I want to enumerate the range from 192.168.0 from 01 to 254. I will put the range here and then I will say start. Now it has enumerated and it shows what machines it gets. So here it says that there are 2 live hosts in this batch. One is this Windows 10 machine, the other one is the Windows Server 2016. So there are 2 live hosts are there. So it checks the live host also, and then it is also enumerating the other options. Still going on. So first it checks the live host and then it goes for the, now it is done. It goes for the other informations. So what it shows here, that there are 2 live hosts. One is 192.168.0.150. Host name it does not able to get, but it gets the port which is open. These are the UDP ports which we have open there. So what else? The total live host discovered is 2. Total open TCP port is 0 and total open UDP port is 3. And these are the detailed information. The IP list contains 254 entries, so it tried to scan 254s. Services UDP ports is 179, services TCP UDP port 80, packet delays is 10, discovery pass is 1, and ICMP pinging for host discovery. Yes, it says that host discovery ICMP timeout, TCP banner grabbing timeout. It is showing the timeout it takes to do these things. Then service scan phase 1, it goes to service scan phase 1, then it goes for the host name resolution, then it goes to the full connect TCP scanning for service scanning. then it do all those things. Scan started here for this, and the result we see here. Now this is what the simple scan. We can go for host and discovery services, service discovery. We can see the settings here. We can change what it should do. We have scan options also here to change and modify the options, and we have tools also. Now these tools are also useful to look up, ping, trace route. We can do the zone transfer also. We can check these also. Like for example, if you are connected to internet, then you can do all these things to the internet host, or you can do it for the local host. Like I will go for my local server. Now I want to do what? Try to look up with the host name. This is to try to resolve the host name. And it has resolved the name, that the name of the machine is server 1. Then we can check the machine, we can check the ping also, we are getting the reply. Then we can check the trace route also. It is actually directly, it will get it into the directly, because there are no routers in between, so it will directly connect one hop after one hop. Then we can try to do the zone transfer also. Now what is zone transfer, I will tell you. Then we can check the HTTP header information. We can check this too. We can grab the banner. You can see it is showing iOS version. We can get the get request for the page. We can send the we can send get request. We can get the header request, and we can get the information from the web server. So if the web server is there on that machine, we can get this is HTTPS, this is normal HTTP. We can do the whois lookup also with this. If you are doing the lookup on the internet server, so we can do the whois lookup. We can do the information, we can get the IP, who is IP also. We can get the range of IP addresses of that host also. So for example, if the internet is connected, so when you are having internet connected, then you can do this for internet host also. Like for example, I will do it for facebook.com. I can try to resolve the name, and it is showing me the host name and the IP address. Then I can try to ping also. I am getting the reply. Then I can do the trace route, and it will do the trace route also to find out the path, find out the hops in between. So trace route will take a little time because it is trying to find the path, and this is what trace route it has done. Then we can try to get the zone transfer. If it is a DNS server, then we can try to get the zone transfer, but this is not a DNS server, it's a web server. We can try to get the HTTP head request, and by this we can try to guess the technology and server. We can try to get the head request, get request, and if it is HTTPS, then we can get the HTTP request also, HTTPS request also. Now this is not HTTPS site, this is normal HTTP, so it is not having that. Then we can try to do whois lookup, and it is doing the whois lookup with this server, default whois server. Now if it is not showing the result, then you can go for another server also. You can type the other server name for the whois lookup. We can go for the IP range, and it will may find it into ARI. So if you are having the range, then you can go to find that array range also. Now these are the tools we have to use here. Now for Windows enumeration, we have Windows enumeration tool here. So this is for the Windows enumeration. What it do here in Windows enumeration, it will try to do the NetBIOS name table, and again remember, it try to create the null session. Now if it is possible to create the null session, if you get the null session, then you can get more informations about the host. So it will try to do all these things. It will try to do the null session also, MAC addresses, workstation type. It will try to get the information about users and groups also available on that machine, and it was possible when there was null session was available. Then RPC endpoint dump, account policies, then shares, domains, remote time of day, logon sessions, drives, trusted domains, services, and registries. So if you want to enumerate the Windows machine, you will give this IP or name of that machine, and then you will say enumerate. Now you see it is getting lots of informations. It is doing all these things. And what it do here and what information it gets, let's check it from the beginning. So it has started from here, then it is showing the name table, which we also saw by using the -nbt state-a command. Then here it is attempting to do the null session. Now it is trying to create the null session, and the null session was successfully created. Remember, it is created successfully, but it does not give any information. If it created successfully and it was not patched, then what? You will see lots of information here in this section. You will see the users information, you will see the groups information, you will see lots of detailed information. Then these are RPC endpoints. These are RPC endpoints for different services in the server. Then password and account policy, it is also not showing, but remember, if the null session was successful, it also shows the password policies also. But nowadays Windows has patched it. Shares also, it is not showing the shares. Domain on, it is showing the domain controller. So this is the domain controller name and IP address. Remote time of day on this, so this is the time server also. Logon session, drives, it is not showing. Trusted domains, it is not showing. Remote services, it is showing that what are the remote services, what are the services running on that remote machine and not running. Now this is also very helpful information. If you know you can see by these services, you can see what applications are running there. Even you can identify the wireless firewall, and also you can identify the antivirus also, if any antivirus or firewall is there. So with the help of these services, you can get important informations like what are the services running there, what are the services are not running there. Like Hyper-V is stopped, that means there are no virtual machines running there. Web services are running, that means web services are running there. It is not showing the remote registry also, but if the null session was successful, it also shows the registry options also. Now null session means what? Actually, when you connect a share folder, when you connect a remote machine, when you access the share folder of the other machine, then your session established. Your session will be established, the IPC session. IPC sessions established with your machine with the other machine. So from your machine to the other machine, remote machine, the IPC session established. Now remember, when you access any machine, any share folder, you have to provide the authentication. You have to give the username and password. Otherwise, you are not able to join that. You are not able to access the share folders of that server. For example, I want to access the share folder of that machine, of that server. I will go to press run, Windows run. Then I will give the IP address of that machine, or IP or name of that machine. Now when I press enter, it asks the username and password. Now it is not asking because it is cached. It has been cached here. So still I am accessing it with some user's authentication. So I will get only the permission which that user has. Now when you do that, you will see the session will be established. You can see that by using the net view command or net share command. You can do by using net view, or you can do by using net use command. Net view is taking a time. Net share will show you the share folders. It will show that right now it is showing there are no entries in the list, but new entries will be there when you connect it, when you establish the sessions. Now when you connect, it asks the username and password. So null session means what? Null session means connecting the remote machine, connecting the remote session without giving any username and password. Very simple. You will not provide any username and password, and you will still able to connect, and that is what you will try to connect it without giving any username and password, and that is what creating null session. That is called creating null session. So from the server side, when you go to computer management, there is an option for share folders, and here you will see all the shares from this machine, and also you will see the sessions established. Now right now there is no session established here, or there is no open files available. So there is no session established here. And also there is no open file. So very simple, when you connect the machine to any other machine. Now how we'll do that? So let's see, I will use the other tool also. So purpose is to get the different tools, is to make sure that the information we are getting is accurate. So purpose of getting it from multiple tools is to get the proper information, or we can show that this information is right. Now this is NetBIOS enumerator. You can give the range from 2, and you can mention like I want to do it only for the one host, so I will give from and to, I will give single IP. and this is my IP, and I will do scan. We can do it for the whole range, or we can do it for only one host. So I'm not having multiple hosts available, so I'm doing it for the single host, and it is getting this information. This is the host 192.168.0.50. The name for the domain is tech. NetBIOS names it is showing. It is showing the table, NetBIOS table. Now you see usernames. It is not showing no one logged on. It is not showing the username. It is not. It is showing the domain name. It is showing the MAC address. It is showing the round time period it takes, and it's showing all the time to leave also. But it is not showing what the usernames and other information. Now it is not showing because of the null session. So NetBIOS enumeration was successful previously when there was null session available. Now the null sessions are not available. Then we can use the other tool also, Hyena. Now this you have to install first. Now this is what Hyena, and currently it is showing the current local information about the local machine. This is our local workstation. It is showing the information about the drives. It is showing the information about the connections, users, local groups, printers, share folders, sessions, open files, services, drives, drivers, events, and these are the events. You can see the information about the disk, user rights management, performance, also you can see network performance, system memory, you can see the process, you can see the network, you can see the system information. Now these are for the current machine, which is where we are running this Hyena, and this is for the enterprise, where it can shows the all computers. Now it is not showing any computer here because it is not able to connect them. For network, it is showing the network interfaces. Now when we do the scan, then what, we can get the information from the other objects also. So I will add the domain here which I want to scan. So the domain name is tech.com. and it is not able to find the domain because this machine is not a member of that domain. Now here is the domain, we have find it by using the ALTA. Now we can do what, we can say OK. Now what type of information is, it is Active Directory. This is the domain name. You can put the name comment if you would like. ADSI path is here, ADSI server, and I say OK. Now this is the information about the domain. Now installation of Microsoft Administrator tool is required for this. Say OK. Now these are the OUs of that domain. You can see it is getting the information about the OUs. Then domain controllers, this is the domain controller, and this is the information about the domain controller, like printers, shares, what are the share folders are there, sessions, drives, disk space. So it is showing total information. And remember, this machine, our machine, is not member of the domain. Still we are getting the information from there. What are the servers are there? Just looking for that servers. There is only one server actually. There is only one domain controller there. There is no server we have connected. Then we can check the groups and users also. Users, we can see the users on that computer. This is groups and this is users. These are the users we have in that Active Directory domain. Global groups, we have local groups. Global, that means the domain groups. This is the local group. We have universal groups. Then we have computers. These are the computers. This is domain controller. These are the clients. And also it shows the user rights. So you can see it can show you the lots of information from that domain also. It is not able to find the servers list because this machine, this client machine, this Windows 10 machine is not member of that domain. So when you click on the server, it is giving error because it is not a member of that domain. So we can extract the information from that domain also by using the Hyana. It is saying this function requests the browser service and the list of servers for this workstation is not currently available. So all of these are the NetBIOS enumeration. And we use this tool to do the NetBIOS enumeration. And you can see we are trying to connect the target system directly, which we do in this enumeration part.